Are you a sales manager, or any manager for that matter? You are? Then I've got a few questions for you. Do you trust your team to do what they say they will? Are you tired of missed actions and milestones with what feels like lame excuses? Are you fed up sitting down with your people, agreeing on a series of next actions and steps only for them seemingly to do their own thing anyway? Well, welcome to the world of remote management. Whether it be field-based teams or geographically spread home-based teams, getting your people on task is one of the toughest lessons that I learned as a manager. So, stick around and I'll share 5 common issues limiting your team's performance right now, and it's costing you your well-earned bonus. Hey, I'm Ricky. Welcome back to the channel. I've compiled these 5 reasons because I struggled with them at times in my career. And my aim is to help you avoid them rather than struggle as I did. Now, before we get stuck in, just to manage your expectations, you're not about to learn something new or magical. I have no silver bullet that will transform your performance overnight. What I will do is I'll share fundamental basics that sales leaders overlook and ignore as they search for the elixir. I learned that from Harry Potter. They believe that this will solve all their problems. Well, it simply doesn't exist. In truth though, these 5 traps expose poor fundamentals. Get them right, and you'll see an uplift in your sales performance. You'll also identify who on your team is either not playing ball, doesn't want to play ball, or lacks the skills to actually play. So, if you're ready, let's cut through these obstacles together and we'll unlock your team's true potential. I call this the Holy Trinity. It's about 3 things. It's about clarity, purpose, and belief. I mean, are their goals clear to you and to them? There should be no wriggle room. There should be no ambiguity. Make it really specific, make it time-bound, and tell them how you're going to measure success. Tell them why their goals matter, including the consequences of failure on them, the team, and the business. A compelling why has both upsides and downsides. Your people need more belief than doubt, otherwise they're destined to fail. This test is one of your red flags and it tells you it's time to intervene. You need to spend time with them, training, coaching, and managing them closely. Think of the Holy Trinity as setting them and you up for success. Take time with each member of your team to agree on what you expect of each other. This expectations chat starts a psychological contract designed to get the best out of each other. Together, you establish ground rules that enable you to hold each other accountable when, as you almost certainly will, fall below those agreed standards. Having the permission up front to challenge each other on your agreed expectation forms the basis of a feedback loop, which is essential to helping your people grow and develop. And that's you too, by the way. Agreeing how and when these conversations should take place is part of those ground rules. It's your obligation as the manager to tell them when they're not performing or behaving to the expected level. In fact, in my experience, most people hate it when their boss has an issue and never tells them, sits on it, or worse, they talk to others about it. The expectations chat allows both parties to hold each other accountable. Managing performance is, at its simplest, about getting the right people doing the right things right. Your people will respond better when you recognize behaviors that you want to see. It's proven that catching people in has a more positive effect than catching them out. Too often, line managers duck, avoid, or mismanage the conversation. They sugarcoat the message, leaving any desired change in behavior to fall on deaf ears. Avoiding big conversation often results in an unrecoverable situation. Through a long, drawn-out escalation involving HR and line managers, the individual either exits the team or even the business. Now, this is hugely expensive and time-consuming, let alone the impact on team performance. Managers have an obligation to give feedback, good and bad, all the time. But recognize nipping things in the bud will save you and your team members a whole world of pain. You're not dealing with it. You leave your boss with no choice. They will intervene. Which of course begs the question, why do they need you then? According to Harvard Business Review, companies that have a defined formal sales process achieve 18% higher growth than companies without one. But they go on. Companies who train their sales managers in pipeline management, have a clearly defined sales process, and invest in at least 3 hours every single month on pipeline management have a 28% higher revenue growth than those that don't. Yes, 28%, almost a third. Now, I'm not sure about you, but that sounds like a no-brainer to me. Managers must get close to the sales process, know what needs to happen at each and every stage, and be able to coach their people to become awesome at moving their business down or out of that funnel. Training is clear and consistent. Coaching is more effective, enabling sales managers to focus in on the specific needs of the salesperson. Observation is no longer guesswork or opinion. It is against a template providing a clearly defined assessment of what good looks like to both salespeople and sales managers. Feedback becomes more meaningful then and very much on point. Check out my video on demystifying the B2B sales process for more on this. Salespeople get so consumed by the pressure to hit their quota that they forget one of the core fundamentals. Sales is about people. And the old adage, people buy people, is absolutely true. Unless that is, like the Apples of the world, where you've developed a fan base, which means people demand more of what you offer. No selling required. For those of us, though, who lack Apple's brand power, competitors are always lurking, waiting to steal our lunch. That said, Apple can't afford to be too complacent either. So, invest your time in prospects and customers. Focus on understanding their world, finding out what they do, what frustrates them about their jobs, what their ideal would be. You can use this insight to match your products and services to their needs, and build long-lasting, deep and meaningful relationships that will, over time, become more resistant to disruption by competitors. My aim in sharing these 5 gotchas, as I call them, is to help you to avoid these common yet very avoidable mistakes. I wanted to set you and your team up for success, not leave your performance to chance or that wing and a prayer method. So, test the Holy Trinity with your people and do it regularly. Check they're clear, I mean crystal clear, leave no wriggle room. Do they understand why what they do is important, both benefits and consequences? Do they have the belief to succeed? Better to find out early than lose a week, a month, or even a quarter. Establish clear expectations between you and your team members. How will you get the most out of each other? Front up those big conversations. Don't let things fester, address them and move forward. The sales process, well, that's your friend. Use it to focus your people on the right activities at the right time. Develop and coach them to it, and watch your performance increase. Build strong, meaningful relationships with customers and colleagues. Make achieving your goals much smoother. And if you found these insights helpful, well, why not share them with your colleagues? Also, it'd be great if you could like and subscribe for more content, which is all designed to empower you and your team. It helps others find our channel too, so we'd be grateful if you could do that. Check out the description below and I've packed it full of useful resources. Until next time, start by focusing on just one of these 5. Get that right and then move on to another. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.